Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard. Over the first three episodes of this podcast, we explored the importance of character, the purpose of sport, and the role of a coach in the lives of athletes. Today, I want to discuss something different. I want to discuss a lie that is so common, so accepted, and so deeply embedded within sport that many people never stop to question it. In fact, this lie is not limited to sport. It exists in schools, businesses, relationships, leadership, and everyday life. It affects athletes, coaches, parents, teachers, and professionals alike. The lie sounds simple. I'll be happy when. For example, I'll be happy when I make the team. I'll be happy when I become a starter. I'll be happy when I earn a scholarship. I'll be happy when I win a championship. I'll be happy when I get the promotion. I'll be happy when I make more money. And I'll be happy when people finally recognize my abilities. At first glance, these statements seem reasonable. Goals are important, ambition is important, pursuing excellence is important. I'm not suggesting that we stop striving to improve or that we abandon meaningful objectives. The problem is not having goals, though. The problem is believing that fulfillment exists on the other side of those goals. Consider the journey of a young athlete. At 12 years old, they desperately want to make the team. They work hard, attend tryouts, and spend months imagining what it will feel like when their name appears on the roster. Eventually, the day arrives. They make the team, excitement follows, happiness follows. But something interesting happens. The feeling doesn't last. Soon a new goal appears. Now they want playing time. Once they earn playing time, they want a starting position. Once they become a starter, they want recognition. Then a championship, then a scholarship, then another achievement. The finish line continues to move. The athlete believes happiness is waiting just ahead. Yet every time they arrive, the destination shifts once again. This is not a flaw unique to athletes. It's a human tendency. Many adults do the same thing. We tell ourselves that life will finally make sense when we reach a particular milestone. We convince ourselves that satisfaction exists just beyond the next achievement. We spend years pursuing something only to discover that the sense of fulfillment we expected never fully arrives. Why does this happen? Perhaps because we are asking achievement to provide something it was never designed to provide. Achievements can create excitement, they can create opportunities, they can also create memorable experiences, but they cannot create lasting purpose. Purpose comes from something deeper. One of the most fascinating realities in sport in how quickly success becomes normal. A player dreams of making the team, then quickly becomes dissatisfied with their role. A coach dreams of winning a championship, then immediately begins thinking about the next season. An athlete reaches a goal they once considered impossible within weeks, starts focusing on the next objective. This cycle never ends. The scoreboard changes, the goals change, the circumstances change, the pursuit continues. What remains unchanged is the belief that fulfillment exists somewhere in the future. Sport magnifies this tendency because competition naturally focuses on attention on outcomes. Every game produces winners and losers. Every season produces champions and disappointments. Every athlete learns to measure progress through results. And results matter. They should matter. The problem occurs when results become our primary source of identity. When this happens, our emotional well being becomes dependent upon factors we can't fully control. Consider two athletes. One performs exceptionally well and receives praise, recognition, and opportunities, and confidence rises. Another struggles, experiences setbacks, and faces disappointment, and confidence falls. Now, what happened? Did their value change? Did their worth change? Did they become different human beings? Of course not. The only thing that changed was performance. Yet many athletes unknowingly build their identity upon performance. When performance rises, they feel valuable. When performance falls, they feel insignificant. This creates a fragile foundation for life. One injury can shake it, one poor season can shake it, one failure can shake it, one disappointment can shake it. The challenge is that athletic careers eventually end. Every athlete plays their final game. Every coach coaches their final season. Every competitor eventually steps away from the arena. If identity is built entirely upon achievement, what remains when the achievements disappear? This is one of the reasons I believe sport provides such a powerful opportunity for growth. Sport consistently confronts us with questions that extend far beyond athletics. Who are you when you are not winning? Who are you when nobody is watching? Who are you when success is delayed? Who are you when things do not go according to plan? These questions reveal character. They reveal value. They reveal purpose. The longer I spend in coaching, the more convinced I become that the most important lessons in sport are rarely about sport itself. They are lessons about life. Sport teaches us that effort matters. It teaches us that discipline matters. Sport also teaches us that preparation matters. Yet perhaps the greatest lesson sport teaches is that achievement alone is never enough. Many athletes spend years chasing a destination only to discover that the destination was never the point. Growth was the point. The relationships were the point. The lessons were the point. The transformation was the point. Fate has significantly influenced how I understand this idea. One of the most profound questions fate asks is not what have you achieved, but rather, who are you becoming? The question changes everything. It shifts attention away from outcomes and toward transformation. It shifts attention away from recognition and toward purpose. It shifts attention away from external validation and toward internal growth. Sport often asks what we have accomplished. Fate often asks what we learned. Sport often celebrates achievement. Fate often examines character. Sport often focuses on the destination. While fate often reminds us to pay attention to the journey. The beautiful thing is that these perspectives do not compete with one another. They complement one another. While excellence remains important, goals remain important, winning remains important, but they are no longer responsible for providing meaning to our lives. Meaning comes from something deeper. Meaning comes from growth. Meaning comes from relationships. Meaning comes from service. Meaning comes from becoming the person we were created to become. As coaches, this understanding is especially important. Coaches often fall into the same trap as athletes. We tell ourselves that fulfillment will arrive with the next victory, the next championship, the next accomplishment. Yet, many coaches eventually discover that success alone cannot satisfy the deeper needs of the human heart. The coaches who experience the greatest fulfillment are often those who recognize that their impact extends beyond the scoreboard. They understand that they are helping shape lives, not merely organize practices and manage games. The same principle applies to teachers, parents, leaders, and mentors. Life is not ultimately measured by what we accumulate, it's measured by what we become. As we close today's episode, I want to leave you with a question. What are you waiting for before allowing yourself to experience joy, gratitude, and purpose. Is it a championship? A promotion, maybe? Maybe a scholarship, or recognition, or approval, or the next achievement. What if fulfillment is not waiting at the next destination? What if the destination was never the answer? What if the greatest value of sport is not found in what it helps us achieve, but in who it helps us become? Perhaps the most dangerous lie in sport is the belief that lives somewhere in the future. And perhaps one of the greatest lessons sport can teach us is that purpose, gratitude, and growth are available right there, right now, in the journey itself. Thank you for joining me for episode 4 of Beyond the Scoreboard. Until next time, continue pursuing excellence, continue investing in people, and remember that some of life's most important lessons are found beyond the scoreboard.